Hello everyone, my name is Saria, and I'm here today with an SGDQ 2020 submission video for the video game River City Ransom EX for the Game Boy Advance released in 2004. A little bit about me, because you might not know anything about me if you're in the speedrunning community, because I am quite new to the entire thing. I first ran this game in January 2015. It was basically one of the only things I've ever done as a speedrunner, and I hope that I can use that to speak to how amazing that this game is as an entry-level speed game. I think it's a perfect beginner speed game, because it's execution-friendly for people who might be scared by games that seem to be very, very hard to play in order to get a fast time. This game is sort of the antithesis to that, in terms of being just raw pick up and play. If you've never played it before, as long as you don't get tripped up by one point in the game where you have to backtrack in order to progress, you can beat this game in less than 20 minutes if you've never seen it before. It's such an awesome beginner speed game. If you just don't know what speedrunning is about and you want to find out for yourself, I would recommend this game, and I hope that this can be an excellent representation of that spirit of speedrunning and bringing people into it and bolstering the community as a whole. And I hope that all of you watching, if you're part of the GDQ staff, I hope that this game can appeal to you in that way. And I hope to anyone out there watching that you find this game appealing and interesting. And let's start talking about it, okay? So, let's get into the main menu here. I'm going to change the brightness to darker in the background. I feel like that helps the characters pop more, makes things easier to see. Now, the category that I will be running today is any percent Wussy, no cheats. Now, the term no cheats might be a bit misleading. It doesn't mean, well, in the other category, any percent Wussy, you can splice videos and you can use deceptive and otherwise nefarious means to doctor your time. No, it's not like that at all. The cheats term refers to things that the game itself gives you in order to affect the gameplay in natural ways. One of those things is the in-game options. Once you actually go into the game itself, like you have the options here, which we're going to be changing, but once you get into the game itself and press pause, a menu comes up and there is an options menu there where you can change things like gravity, the amount of gang members that appear, and even affect damage values. None of that is allowed in any percent Wussy, no cheats. Also, in this game, you can, in RPG fashion, go to shops and increase stats by buying things. And doing that, you can build up your character and then save it into your save data, and then load that character and play the entire game from start to finish with that strengthened character. You can see this character is max stats. We're using this character for the any percent Wussy with cheats category, but in this category, any percent Wussy, no cheats, these sorts of characters are not allowed. No save files are allowed in any percent Wussy, no cheats. You have to use these characters, these vanilla guys that you see right before you. And also, you can see that you can fight with an AI partner, a teammate. Now, this probably will allow for the fastest possible time in beating the game, because your AI partner, if he does everything right and he totally goes bananas off the bat, he will just clean house and beat everybody up, and then you don't really have to do as much, and he's stronger than you are, so he can beat bosses faster and he can instantly kill the stronger gangs. The thing is, your AI partner, as well as every single other AI in the game, including enemies and bosses, are determined by pure randomness. Just everything they do, every action, everything is just RNG. So, he ends up getting in your way far more often than he ends up helping you. Because of this, I just decided to remove him entirely from the equation, and since I have started beginning to run this category with just Alex and being alone with no AI, I have found that it is far more consistent to get decent times. So that's what we will be doing here, and I also will be changing the ally setting to 1, because in the middle of the game we will be encountering a cutscene where a friend of this character's will usually ask you to join the team, but if we set this to 1, which means we cannot get any allies in the game, then we will save some time during that cutscene because there will be less text, because he will not be able to join us at all. and now we will be changing the difficulty level to Wussy mode because that's what the category entails. That is the fastest way to beat this game, is through Wussy mode, because all of the enemies and boss health is lower and their AI is slightly less aggressive, usually. And then we'll be doing this. Obviously we'll want the text to be going pretty fast, and with that we are about ready to go. Now, I want to preface before I get going, I am going to be... I'm live streaming this right now, and I am treating this as a form of trying to prove myself to all of you who are probably wondering if I am capable of being on a GDQ stream, of entertaining a crowd, of speedrunning a game, of being any sort of reputable person that you would want to have on your stage. So I'm going to be doing this from start to finish in one take, hopefully, and I hope that I can prove myself to you as a speedrunner. Even if you don't accept this game, then hopefully I am not a complete wash in your eyes. Now, actually, here, first, a little bit more background on the game. I mentioned how I first started running this game in January 2015. That was the first time that anyone was actually submitting official speedruns to any sort of leaderboard. I had to create the speedrun.com leaderboard page for this game, and unfortunately I sort of left it to die, and I kind of neglected it. But a few years passed, and some more speedruns started to trickle in for this category. This was the category that I first started running, and it wasn't until this year that I noticed that my world record of 9 minutes and 38 seconds had been crushed by a person by the name of Red, R-E-D-D. Yes, that is the Super Smash Bros. Melee former world ranked number 53, and once I saw that that man had destroyed my run, it lit a fire in me that I had never thought possible as a speedrunner, because that was the first time that I realized what it means to be a competitive speedrunner, and that was kind of when this entire journey awakened for me. And now I am just beyond honored to even get the chance to submit this to you, and I really, really hope that even if this doesn't make it through to the marathon, that this games can start gaining a little bit more traction. It's still a very, very small community. We're trying to really get it going, and I hope that a lot of people out there can see this game's potential and see how much fun it looks and how easy it is to get into and just pick up and play and record your time and be a part of the experience, because that's what it did for me. And I hope that this can embody the spirit of GDQ, and I hope that you enjoy this. So I think that's about enough pre-run rambling, so let's get going here. Okay, are we ready? Alright, I'll try and count you in. 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, the first thing you'll notice here that I'm doing is jumping out of this room. That is because our maximum velocity is higher while we're airborne than it is when we're on the ground. And now I notice this pattern of girls in the mall here is going to indicate that I got the frat boys gang here, and it should guarantee I get the frat boys in here as well, which is what we want. Now, that is part of one of the most important things in this game, which is gang luck. There are many, many different types of gangs that can appear in this game. Some are weak, some are strong. We want to see the weaker gangs because they will die much faster. Obviously, that will make things go much quicker. Now, I'm going to try and get a nice little boss kill here. Touchdown! We got it. That is a strategy that I just developed 2 days ago or so, where there are several different ways that you can beat that boss. You can just kick him until he goes down using the special move that you start the game out with, Dragon Kick. We will be using that a lot in this run. There is also a strategy that a fellow runner, Polar Ice Age, or Ice Age 70 on Twitch, he developed a really, really flashy way to kill the boss, but I just found the safest way to do it, which was what I did here. Now, here's an instance here where we will be hoping for the frat boys. We got the mobs. So this is a room that can be very reset heavy, because we need to wait for the frat boys to appear, and we got them second try. That's pretty good. That is exactly what we want in a marathon. I'm going to try and get this tire out of the way, because we need to have nothing in our way when we try and beat this boss, because I will be attempting a glitch that was discovered by several of us. Let me see if I can get it. There it is. That is a void out glitch. It is the fastest way to kill that boss, and I'm glad that I could show it off for you there. The way it works is in this game, in a room where you have a leftmost wall in the room, and that means there can't be an exit or entrance on the left side. If you cause an enemy, or if you yourself recovers from being grounded at a very certain time, while you're at a certain position, then you will, your X position while you recover will be placed outside of the bounds of the room, and you will fall to your death because there's no ground to catch you. So, I recently found a consistent way to recreate that kill over and over and over and over. And that's cut a ton of time off the category. Okay, the eagles are pretty aggressive. Luckily, they didn't give us any trouble. Sometimes when you're running through these rooms, the gang members will hit you. It's not like the original River City Ransom, where if you don't get hit in every single room, you can count yourself super lucky. Most of the time, they just let you go through, but sometimes they get really aggressive. So far, they've been letting us go. Now, here we're approaching the mid-game, which is a really, really luck-reliant area of the game as well. We need some really weak gangs here, but there are a ton that can appear. What do we got here? We got the homeboys. We don't like that. They take a ton of hits to kill. We're going to try and get a better gang. The jocks are the most common gang to appear in this room. Now, sometimes they take 2 hits to kill, so I'm just going to be safe and hit them twice. And one thing about this game is that if you accidentally collect an item and you pick up a weapon, you're going to be losing a lot of time, because it's way worse than your mock kick, and generally it's way more cumbersome, and you have less extension with which to hit people with your hitbox. So weapons are a liability in this game. Now we got Turk here. I'm trying some safer strats. I'm going to wait for him so he recovers, because if he recovers on frame 1, then he can instantly move out of the way. The way that the bosses behave in this game, and all enemies, is very, very unpredictable. So the more that you can get them in a predictable pattern, the better off you're going to be, because they can waste you a lot of time if they get out of your line of movement. Now, we had to reset the room once because we saw the locals. The locals are by far the worst gang in this game for speedrunning, because they are the most unpredictable, they're very strong, they're very resilient, and you just have to not ever fight them, and please trust me on that. You might be thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just try it? I mean, surely it's faster to fight them than it is to reset the room 5 times. Well, let me tell you. Oh boy, he walked out of the way there. We have to... Luckily, we didn't spend too much time going after him. Now, back to the locals. The thing is, you might think that, but with the locals' horrible RNG and the amount of times it takes to hit them before they die, it could take an extra minute to kill them, as opposed to, if you reset the room like 8 times, it'll take less time than that. So it really is better to just avoid them entirely. Now here we bought shoes. That is important, even though it costs a lot of time to buy shoes, it's really important because in the end game, the bosses and the strong gangs that appear take a lot of hits to kill. The bosses take way more hits to kill. So it ends up saving time in the long run to get a stat increase, and shoes are the best bet for that because because you're a kicker, our best move is a kick, the shoes increase your kicking stat, and so that's a really good way to increase a lot of stats at once that are useful to you. And it also helps us to run faster. It's just really good. The shoes are a good bet. And I'm being a little slow in killing this gang, but here we've got another fast kill here, because you see there's a pit, so I'm going to try and get this. I'm going to wait for him to recover, and then I'm going to get him. He's gone. That's Thor. Alright. Now that was a safer version of the kill. There's a way you can get him in one throw, but you have to be super fast, and also he can recover faster than usual sometimes, so I just decided to go for the safe one. Now, the reason that we are stopping to fight gangs in those certain rooms, as you may have noticed, is because I have to beat all of the gang members to make bosses appear in this game. And so, there are certain required bosses in order to open the door of this high school, which is the last part of the game, that you need to get into to beat it. So there's a boss here that won't appear unless you beat all of the required bosses. So that's why we were doing all this up to this point. And the internationals here, they can do some super, really annoying footsies. They're really amazing at avoiding you sometimes. Okay, I'm going to do a safe strat for Ivan. We're going to pick him up and kick him before he lands. For some reason, he was invincible there. And so we're losing a lot of time. Yeah, this can happen. See, that's what I meant when I talked about how the bosses can be really annoying in terms of them avoiding you and then being really unpredictable. I tried to do a safe strat to completely avoid that, but Ivan is one of the worst. He is really good at walking just outside your hit range, so that's what can happen there. Now, we're hoping that the locals don't appear in any of these rooms. The cowboys are a great option. They do swing a lot, but we can hopefully just avoid that. What's that guy doing? He's getting ready. That guy was prepared, but we managed to avoid his intent. It was some brutal intent there, but okay, they've mostly cooperated here, so now we will fight Otis. I'm going to make sure I get right up next to him so we can get the max hits, and then he'll be stunned, and we should be home free now. There we go. We got lucky. He walked right into us. That should be it right here. Okay, we're good. So that was a pretty good room there, and now we are entering the last 2 rooms of the game. Now, this room coming up has a very high chance for the locals to appear, so we might have to respawn it a few times. We didn't. That's very good luck. And that was also a good pattern. I managed to avoid the weapons. And yes, nice. Okay, this room's going very well so far. Coming up is a pure execution fight, mostly. You can get really bad luck in this fight. I'm gonna do this! Ah! That guy... Oh no! I picked up the lead pipe. I have to do a very specific sequence of movements here to get this fight, and it's really important that I hit them both at the same time and keep them both at the right wall. So I'm gonna do some serious time here for a minute. Okay, we got it. Now, one last trick. This is the only other boss that you can do the void out glitch with. Let's see if we can get it. We got it! Okay. Time is coming up. We're gonna get a sub 9. That's very, very nice. I love it. And time. Alright. Oops, I missed a split there. That was something like an 8:43-ish. I'm very, very pleased with that run as a marathon run. I just kind of turned on my stream, and that was the first run that I did, and I'm so happy that I could represent the game like that. Really, the only thing that went really bad was the Ivan fight. It might have been a sub 8:30 except for that, but you just have to expect things like that in River City Ransom EX. Sometimes things just get really out of hand, and it gets out of hand fast, but we got pretty good luck throughout the entire run there. Our gang luck was good. I only had to reset the room once or twice a few times, and sometimes you can sit there for, like I said, up to 8 or 9. Sometimes we have a record of like 20 times that we have to reset the warehouse to get the frat boys to appear. But we got some pretty decent luck here. I'm very, very happy to get sub 9s, and that's quite consistent. It's pretty rare that I beat the game in over 9 minutes now, that I have discovered some consistent ways to do the void out glitch for the bosses, and I'm just very pleased with that. If I could get that in the marathon, I'd be very happy. And hopefully that was very engaging, and I got most of the tricks that I wanted to show off, and I kept a pretty... I had to really yammer on about all that stuff. This game moves fast. I think that's one of the other reasons that this might be an appealing game to show off at Games Done Quick, because there's a lot going on. There's never a moment where you really can drop your concentration as a runner, and there's a lot going on the screen. Also, it's a very, very zany game. It's cartoonish. It's flashy and colorful, and it's kind of fun to look at, and it's just looking at the things that the gang members say. It's got kind of a pulpy, slapstick humor to it. So it's a fun game. Also, if you're interested by this game at all, I recommend that you pick it up, because it is an awesome casual game, and there's a lot that happens in the game that you don't see during the speedrun. I only showed a very small amount of things that can happen in the game, so I recommend that you pick it up and try it out for yourself, because it's a fun time, and the replay value is actually quite high, even though the game itself is quite short, because of all the sorts of events that you can trigger by doing so many different things. Now, I would like to thank you all so very much from the bottom of my heart for considering me here, whether you be GDQ staff or anybody else who's seeing this video. I am so honored and privileged and blessed to be able to bring this to you. It's just, I'm so happy to be able to give back to speedrunning in some way, because once I was hooked on speedrunning after seeing my first VODs of a GDQ event back in 2013, I just was overwhelmed by how amazing the power is of all these people who enjoy these seemingly nerdy and just innocuous things that many people write off, and how it can come together to form this insanely powerful movement toward a good cause and toward empowering people and giving them a wonderful career option, and just helping people find themselves. And it's such an inspiring thing, and just to be able to present myself in front of you today is something that I will never forget, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so much. And to anybody who has ever been associated with GDQ in the past, right now, in the future, whether it be helping to verify and look through all of these submissions, whether it be, staffing events, whether it be anything related to anything with putting on these events and making all of it possible, you are the best. You are awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do. I appreciate you so much, and I am so glad that we all in this entire world have you to help make this possible and help make humankind and the world a little bit better place to be in. So, yes, if any of you have any questions for me, then please feel free to email me at the address that I will provide to you, and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as possible, hopefully with an adequate response. And let's see, did I forget anything? I'm sure I did, but this is probably getting to be quite lengthy. Yes, I'm looking at my OBS right now, 32 minutes and 29 seconds. Now, not all of that was this submission video, but I'm sure a big chunk of it was. So before I make any of you fall asleep, if you're still awake right now, good on you. You're incredible. You're a trooper. I can't believe you survived my voice for that long. So again, I mean, my gratitude just cannot be quantified in any sort of English terminology or any language for that matter. I'm so stoked. Thank you so much for giving me a chance, or just giving me an eye and an ear, or anything that would involve me being considered for GDQ. I'm so happy to that you guys are continuing to put this event on despite the insane circumstances of current world events. Thank you for that. Thank you for being so strong and for being so supportive of all things that all of us are doing. And it really does not go unnoticed, and thank you. Yep, that was River City Ransom EX for the Game Boy Advance. Any percent Wussy mode, no cheats. My name is Seiria. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are interested in speedrunning this game, please hit me up on speedrun.com, SEIREA. That's how you spell my username. Please contact me. I would love to get you in our Discord for our speedrunning Discord and get you started, because I really think that this is an awesome way to get into speedrunning, and I really want some competition. Right now, my world record of 7 minutes and 57 seconds is the only sub 8 in the world, and I have world records. I have the world record in every single other official category in this game, and I want some challengers. Red is currently going at it. He's thrown out some attempts. I also have a lifelong friend in the Kunio-kun community, Kunio-kun being the franchise that this game is a part of, and he very recently started doing attempts of his own, and I think his first attempts were in the 11-minute range, and then all of a sudden, 9:55. Very next run, 9:05. He's right on the barrier of sub 9. It's so exciting. You can make huge leaps in this game so fast, even if you've just started playing it. And I really would love to share that with you, all of you out there. I would love for you to be a part of this community, so please contact me if you're interested. And I'll just be, it'll fill my heart. So, just like my heart is so full right now, thank you so much again. And I hope that you all are having a great day or night. I wish you all the very best that life has to offer. Dream on, friends. Peace.